Greetings, some race fans. We're going to do something slightly different today. I have decided that I'm going to show the replay of one of the SIMGR daily races I participated in just yesterday, the 1st of January, New Year's Day. I had a couple of quick races and I saved the replay for them. So I'd like to show you what happened. So let's get on with it. As you can see, these are very short. They're only 8 laps. There is no qualifying in these races, so you get randomly put on the grid as far as I know. So I'm car number 8 in 8th place, and we'll get into it in a few seconds. You can hear the engine start to fire up, and let's go. Now I get a bit nervous with these daily races. I usually do. Most of the time when I'm in league races, I know the people around me. I'm normally fairly close to the front. And in league racing, you tend to try to be very safe with the people around you. Starting here in the middle of the pack, as you can see, I left plenty of space behind the McLaren in front of me there. As you can see, I'm the BMW center screen. But let's go green and we're good to go. Ferrari right at the bottom of the picture in the lead. He's already making some moves. Everyone is going to start bunching up now, so I'm extra careful going into turn 1. Leave the other BMW plenty of space there as 2 Ferraris collide at the back of the field. Nothing unusual there then. So it's all very clean at the moment at this area of the field. I don't know what that... I think that's an Aston Martin there, 2 cars behind me. But so far we're fairly clean, which is unusual for this track. It often brings about a number of incidents. So for some reason I've got into P7. I think the other BMW was ahead of me on the grid, so I've managed to get a better start through the first couple of corners than him. Now this long straight is quite famous. It has such a slipstream effect. There's nowhere else, with the possible exception of Monza, where the slipstream effect is quite so pronounced. And as you can see, I'm really catching the that Porsche ahead of me. I back off because I know I'm not going to overtake him. Give him plenty of space, and let's see how the race unfolds. All I want to do now is not lose a position. That other BMW is getting very racy already. You can see people fanning out across the track with cold tyres. People are desperately trying to get places. None of it's going to work. I'm being very gentle at this point, trying to be conservative. I know the race will come to me. Things will start to happen. I just want to get the tyres up to temperature, keep my place, not make any mistakes, and in about 2 laps we'll see some more racing start. Now here we got the front of the field there. We've got 2 guys side by side already in the first corner, out of the last corner and down the straight. But behind this little group here, equidistant, we're about half a second apart, and we're looking good for a top 7th place. My aim in these races, as you can see, that was a 2:01.5. Nothing special, but that was from a standing start, so no problem there. My aim with these races is to try to increase my grid rating on SIMGR. It's not particularly good. I can't remember whether this race made much of a difference to my rating, but here we are on lap 2, and I'm right behind the Porsche now. This is looking pretty good, because I think we can get a decent slipstream and maybe get past him into the senior, the corner at the end of the straight, which is super quick, 5th gear. We're up to 6th now, top gear, and I'm right behind that Porsche. Let's see what he does. Is he going to let me pass? The 2 cars ahead, they touch. Let's get a bit naughty there. But they still stay on board, and I'm right alongside the Porsche. Oh, and I give him a bit of a nudge. That was not intentional. But he stays alive, but I am past him. And now the Porsche tucks in and touches the other BMW as well. Bit of door-to-door, never hurt anyone. And everyone survived. we're all good. So now I'm up to, it still says 7th, but that is now 6th place, I believe. Coming through sector 3, where I'm not particularly good at. This BMW is really good at sector 2. It has a really good top speed, and it, especially through the faster sweeps, it also has really good downforce as well. So it's well suited to this track. So that's another place gained. And let's see if I can see the toggle the HUD off. Oh yeah, it's now got back to where it should be. So I'm now up to P5. One overtake and got past the McLaren that went off the track there. As you can see, the other BMW's got past him too. So now P5's looking good. I'm quite happy with that. That's 3 places gained from the start. I've got the pace on the BMW behind me, and he's having to contend with that black and gold McLaren. But I've got my eyes set on this other McLaren in front of me. Let's see if I can start to catch him. Gap is about a second, maybe slightly less than that, so there's not much of a slipstream effect, but it's so I'm keeping in the middle of the track. I'm just trying to keep some visibility. One of the problems I have with my racing is if I get too close to the car in front, I tend to lose sight of brake markers and other reference points, and I tend to make too many mistakes if I do that. But I know this car is quick in this section, it's stable, it handles very well, and I've got a good setup on it. So I'm being patient, and I can see there's now 3 cars grouped together right in front of me. And if they keep battling, I'm bound to be able to catch up, as I already have. Their lines are being compromised all the time, so instead of being a second off, I'm now only, what's that, 3 or 4 tenths or something like that. Right up behind the Ferrari, and the other Ferrari spins, the blue Ferrari. McLaren's now, oops, touches me. I don't think that was intentional on his part, but I've spun myself around, and I need to watch out for how I rejoin. So I check there's nothing behind me and come back on. But I've lost at least 2-3 places there now. So I am now back to 8th place as far as I remember. Nope, 9 to 9th. That was not a happy lap. I don't think the guy did it on purpose. He was just watching himself. He didn't really pay too much attention to his radar though, because he should have known I was alongside him and given me a little bit of space. But oh well. Let's see what I can do and see if I can gain a few extra places. I need to at least finish 7th, just to make up at least 1 place. Right, so trying to get back to 8th place where I started. The Aston is quite close behind me. I know he's fair game. I think I'm probably quicker than he is. So now try to get into his slipstream and catch up. Once again, I can't quite think why I'm not directly behind him. I am now, though, getting properly in the slipstream. And again, the other 2 cars are not that far up ahead. Oh, that was a bit of a touch. McLaren just nudged the Porsche off the track. So that's a freebie for me. Back up to 8th place. And I am catching the Aston. So again, let's see if I can keep the place. And passively get past the Aston. I'm good on the brakes here, but so is the Porsche. Again, I'm going to see if I can get past this Aston on the straight, so I need to get a good position here. But that Porsche is looking very racy indeed. And I fail once again to take and notice the fact that someone's going to come down the inside. And he does, very robustly, but fairly. And we were side by side. He had the place. And yeah, I've dropped back down to 9th again. So at this point I'm wondering, is this guy actually really quicker than me or not? But when my tyres have now properly got back to where they should be, and I am determined to get back to where I should be. I'm P8, I can't remember why or how I got P8 from P9, but never mind. Someone could have retired out on track in front of me, I'm not entirely sure. So that's not a brilliant line from the Porsche through there, which enables me to close up a little bit. And here we're going to go, for some reason, yeah, well, the Porsche's got a lot of good traction out of that right-hander. So back onto the back straight, Mistral, and I'm going into the slipstream of the Porsche. And as you can see, I'm closing in quite nicely. Closing in. There's enough overspeed here for me to dive down the inside. I'm in the middle of the track, still giving him plenty of space, but I do have the extra speed and a nice clean overtake. That should be back up to P7 and trying to get back up in touch with the Aston if I can stop the Porsche from diving down the inside of me again. So we're in the last sector again, into the that horseshoe corner. Tricky one that. You have to turn in really, really late, and it's tricky on the brakes. I take too wide an entry into that corner, and possibly too wide here as well, or too narrow in this one actually. But now into the last corner, far enough ahead of the Porsche, and just over a second behind the Aston. Someone else goes into the pits. Oh, that's the other BMW. It was the only other one in the race. So I have picked up another place there. I think that's now P7. Nope, P6. So without doing any more overtaking, I've gone back up to P6. And I'm closing up on the Aston quite quickly now. Let's see what lap we're on. This is lap 6 out of 8. Right up behind him. I do have the pace now. I know, I'm confident I can get past him. It's just a question of when. Time my run. I'm going to time it for... he's really slow out of that corner. I think he's struggling with low grip on his rear tyres. So I am being this close to him. I know I've got the run. I know I can get past him. And am I far enough away from the Porsche to not give him a slipstream? I think that should be the case. Right, down the inside now. Give him plenty of warning. Take the middle of the track. Use the slight extra speed I have. He's trying to squeeze me, but that's not going to work. We're alongside now. Top speed almost the same, but he backs off and allows me through. Thank you very much, sir. Right, that's P5. Now, given that I started in P8 and I was spun round to 9th, I'm quite happy with 5th place at this point. It's now a question of, can I get any higher? I am content to finish 5th. Given where I started, it'll increase my my grid rating. But I don't know if you noticed that through that last corner, the rear started to step out just a fraction. I might have hurt my rear tyres a bit, so I need to be a bit careful. Through the last corner, and oh, the two behind me touched. Let's have a really quick look back at that and see what happened. If I go back to the car behind and see what happened. Oh, the Porsche dives on the inside and just knocks him off the track. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Yeah, ridiculous that, isn't it? So with that happening, I'm up to P4. I think someone else has gone out of the race. Now, of course, I'm really chuffed. We still have at least one more lap to go. So I need to just maintain the pace and stay where I am. Let's get an onboard view. I'll use the chase view. You can see where I am and the cars ahead. There we go. Let's go on board. Flat through that left-hander and down the long Mistral straight. And you can see all the way to the end. It's well over 1 kilometre long. I have just one lap of fuel left, but that's plenty. We've got this lap and I think the next one too. Although we don't. This is the last lap. $230k through SIMGR. I'm very happy with that. It's difficult to get your braking just right for that. I tried using both second gear and third through that section there. and I'm not entirely sure which is best. Very late apex here. I'll put the power on early. Whoops, and another touch of oversteer, dab of opposite lock. Keeps me on the circuit. And down to the second to last corner, tuck it into the left and onto the apex, power out, and down towards the finish line. We're P4, another decent finish. And there's the checkered flag. Yep, quite happy with that. It was good to go up 4 places. Actually, no, that was third. Was it just someone stopped early? I think I finished 4th in that race. Good result for me, though. I'm quite happy with the way that went. So here's the results. I did, in fact, finish 3rd. 4 seconds behind the leader. Pretty happy with that. So that's all I have for this race. I'll see you in the next one.